You know we're animatronic fans through and through, and if you're watching this, you probably are too. And if you're also a huge Jurassic Park fan, you know that huge dinosaur animatronics are a fundamental part of the franchise, from the impressive Rexy to the imposing and terrifying Indoraptor. So today, welcome to the best Jurassic Park animatronics from movies and theme parks.
Fastpass facts.
T-Rex, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. One of the most interesting aspects of Fallen Kingdom was the inclusion of many practical effects, including animatronics. In the first installment of the Jurassic World trilogy, there was only one animatronic used, which left animatronic fans and Colin Trevorrow, director of the first film, wanting more. When Trevorrow was co-writing Fallen Kingdom, along with Juan Antonio Garcia Bayona, the director of Fallen Kingdom, they decided that they had to create one of the most intense and impressive scenes from the Jurassic World trilogy, and to do it, they had to have an animatronic. To do this, they called animatronics wizard Neil Scanlon. A team of approximately 18 people designed the T-Rex animatronic. A small-scale maquette was created and shown off, and the full-scale model was intended to move its head, neck, and part of its torso, with the legs and rear being essentially designed as a stand-in for CG effects, added later on in the development process. It has articulated eyes, was able to roar, and the effects team would use an unknown cocktail of slimy liquids to imitate saliva, which was done by manually spreading it onto the creation's teeth and mouth. It was also designed so that Bryce Dallas Howard could be able to ride it. She had to train and learn how to ride the animatronic. According to her, this experience was pretty unique and pretty terrifying at the same time. The main difference between this new T-Rex and Rexy, the first animatronic created for the franchise, which we'll be talking about later, is the advanced technology which with this was created. Rexy was harder to control, but this new T-Rex allows for a more efficient control. This scene is fantastic, and creating this impressive animatronic was worth it. And this was not the only impressive animatronic created for Fallen Kingdom. Indoraptor, Jurassic Park, Fallen Kingdom. Fallen Kingdom brought a new threat to the series, the Indoraptor, a genetically modified apex created to be the most intelligent and lethal dinosaur ever seen. This terrifying creature was brought to the screen thanks to a mixture of practical effects and visual effects. In many of the scenes, this creature was brought to life using CGI, but to make it more realistic and immersive in these scenes, a dummy was created so that the actors could interact with the creature, and a giant animatronic arm that was controlled by a puppeteer. But the most impressive of all was a gigantic Indoraptor head, created by Neil Scanlon's team, which had endless movements and expressions. This animatronic is very detailed, and it was sculpted and painted very thoroughly. It was done so that it could give the illusion of having a sick-looking membranous skin, and strangely enough, one of the main inspirations in the design of the creature was Nosferatu, the vampire. The animatronic was controlled by a team of puppeteers that controlled the eyes, nostrils, and jaw. The sounds for the Indoraptor were made from a mix of sounds, like a chihuahua, a lion, a pig, a cougar, and a dental drill. This animatronic is amazing and definitely one of our favorites, but nothing compares to the love we have for the next animatronic. Blue, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. As you can see, Fallen Kingdom is a showcase of animatronics. It is actually the movie with the most practical effects of the whole franchise to date, because according to rumors, Jurassic World Dominion will be the movie with more animatronics from the saga. Since Jurassic World came out, fans all over fell in love with Blue, and this beloved raptor returned with a fundamental role in Fallen Kingdom. That's why the animatronic team of Neil Scanlon created a full-body animatronic of Blue that was so realistic that the actors were actually terrified of getting near it. The animatronic has a massive range of motion, and its creation was one of the most important parts of the entire production. This animatronic was able to sweat, salivate, move its eyes and muscles, and much more. To move the animatronic, a puppeteer team was placed under the table in a special cabin full of controls to handle different parts of Blue's body. It is so impressive to think that each part of the animatronic was articulable. This is a perfect example of how new technology can come together with old-school puppetry to create something so impressive and bring an extinct creature back to life. Blue is definitely our favorite Jurassic Park dinosaur, and we love her even more thanks to this animatronic. Allosaurus, Battle at Big Rock. On September 15, 2019, Colin Trevorrow surprised fans of the franchise with a new short called Battle at Big Rock. This new short film is canon in the franchise and is set after the events of Fallen Kingdom. The short was produced in secret, so nobody knew what hit them when it was released. The short shows an awesome fight between an Allosaurus and a Pseudoceratops. To create these dinosaurs, Colin Trevorrow called Industrial Light and Magic for everything related to CGI, and John Rosengrant of Legacy Effects to create an animatronic Allosaurus. You might find Legacy Effects familiar, and that's because they were in charge of bringing Grogu to life as an animatronic in The Mandalorian. This short was made with a lower budget than the movies, so only the head and neck of the Allosaurus were created. Everything else was enhanced with CGI. Because of the secrecy and the budget for this short, Trevorrow could not film any new scenes for the ending, where we can see many dinosaurs in human environments appear. So, he instead searched through YouTube for videos that could be integrated and used in the film. The rights to each of the online videos were purchased for use in the short film, and dinosaurs were then added to the videos. Jurassic World Roar, Universal Studios, Singapore. Fallen Kingdom not only brought us animatronics for the film, but it also inspired a live show called Jurassic World Roar that was open for the temporary celebration Jurassic World Explore and Roar that opened on June 2nd, 2018 at Universal Studios Singapore. Many people found this show a bit disappointing and cheesy, but no one can deny the puppets and animatronics used for it were super impressive. This show was a small demonstration where many dinosaurs were showcased. We could see velociraptors, pterodons, and an imposing T-Rex in the form of an animatronic. The T-Rex appears at the end of the show, threatening our protagonists. The animatronic has simple movements and is helped with sound and smoke effects. Although this animatronic is not as impressive as the ones we can see in the Jurassic Park rides, it was amazing to be able to see such a huge T-Rex in a live show. The show's final presentation was back in August, and the animatronic is currently retired. Jurassic Park, Rexy. When Jurassic Park was in development, one of Steven Spielberg's main priorities was to have animatronic dinosaurs. He wanted all of the dinosaurs that would appear in the movie to be animatronics, but sadly, this was entirely out of the question because of the budget for the movie. So many of the dinosaurs that appeared in the film had to be computer generated. Still, Spielberg wanted at least some animatronics, so the production team started looking for someone that was up to the task. They found the Stan Winston Studios. The studio had already worked on similar projects in the past, so they were perfect for the job. The concept art was drawn, approved, blown up to a full-scale T-Rex, and then used as a reference. A mold was made for the latex skin that would cover the animatronic's interior mechanical structure. A huge team of people worked to make this T-Rex become a reality. Even Disney legend Bob Gurr helped consult for it. When the animatronic was done, it was taken to Soundstage 16 at Warner Brothers backlot. The 12,000-pound T-Rex was so heavy that the soundstage had to be reinforced so it could be stored there. But the T-Rex was ready to shoot. Now everything was perfect with the animatronic, but the time came to shoot the main road scene. In this scene, the T-Rex ended up getting soaked every day because of the rain the scene needed. The animatronic was covered with foam rubber, and this material is absorbent, so the skin of the animatronic would quickly become saturated during filming, forcing the crew to stop shooting to use towels and fans to dry the animatronic. The other problem was that the animatronic's hydraulic build was messed up by the water's extra weight, which caused the entire rig to start shaking violently. But thankfully, everything worked out in the end, and the animatronic worked beautifully. There was another animatronic created by Stan Winston that was used in the film. This animatronic was used for close-up shots and more intense interactions with the T-Rex. It was not full-bodied, but built from the waist up, and was even more detailed than the other one. The exciting thing about this animatronic was that it used an incredibly precise and computed-based action memory that could be used to pre-program movements into the animatronic, so it could repeat the same actions. This was very helpful because it allowed the T-Rex to push itself through the bathroom hut wall without hurting the actor during the scene. Triceratops Encounter, Universal Studios Orlando. In 1999, Islands of Adventure was opened, and unlike the catastrophic debut of Universal Studios, Islands of Adventure opened with excellent reviews by guests and the press alike. The park opened with 6 themed islands: Port of Entry, Marvel Superhero Land, Toon Lagoon, The Lost Continent, Seuss Landing, and Jurassic Park. This last island was themed as Isla Nublar, and one of the main attractions that Universal announced for this area of the park was the possibility of having close encounters with dinosaurs, and specifically with a Triceratops. This encounter was based on the one that Alan Grant and Ellie Sattler in Jurassic Park had. For this attraction, 3 life-size Triceratops were created. Their names were Topper, Chris, and Sarah. These animatronics were created by MD Robotics, and they were 30 feet long and almost 10 feet high. Universal requested specific requirements for the robots, including the ability to replicate breathing through synchronized ribcage movements, sneezing, snorting, among other things. These animatronics were very impressive, but ironically, the complexity of the animatronic was, to a large extent, the downfall of this attraction, because it caused them to break down regularly. But that was not the only problem. Universal had announced that this encounter would be very personal, but that was far from the truth. The animatronic was pretty far, and there was a barrier that prevented guests from going near it. This caused guests to stop going to see this attraction regularly. Then in 2002, the encounter started to have many problems, and guests found it constantly closed, until it was closed permanently in 2003. And it remained closed and abandoned until 2010, where it reopened with a whole new name, Discovery Trail. This didn't last long because it was closed again, to be reopened in 2011 with its original name. But the problems that the attraction had not been solved, and it closed again in 2012, this time for good. Spinosaurus, Dinosaur Attack. Universal has had the task of improving their character animatronics and shows with each year that passes, and in recent years, they've allowed guests to have close encounters with some of their most popular franchises. This is the case with the Jurassic World Characters Encounters, where we can find characters like Blue or a Triceratops meeting guests. These dinosaurs have become more present each year at the parks, and in 2016, Universal Japan surprised guests with a fantastic street show named Dinosaur Attack. In this show, guests could have close encounters with many dinosaurs. The show began when an amazing Triceratops was presented to guests by 2 staff members so it could interact with guests. Everything seems to be going great until a group of raptors escape and start surrounding the Triceratops and intimidating guests. While all of this is happening, a huge Spinosaurus watches by closely, growling and trying to escape from his cage. After a few minutes of tension, one of the staff members shoots into the air in order to calm the beast down and bring everyone to safety. This show was without a doubt a great experience, with some of the most unique and equally scary animatronics guests had ever seen. But sadly, the show changed in 2017 to become the Dinosaur Wonder Experience show. The show basically remained the same, with the exception of the Spinosaurus that was nowhere to be found. The show suffered more changes, and now it is known as My Friend Dinosaur. This new version of the show is way more friendly. In this latest encounter, we can see that there are no menacing dinosaurs, but they are all friendly with guests. We can also see a new Stegosaurus and a baby Triceratops. Who knows if there will be any more surprises in the future for this show? T-Rex, Jurassic Park the Ride. Universal gambled big when they designed and constructed Jurassic Park the Ride, because the movie hadn't even come out yet. The ride was designed to replicate the atmosphere of Isla Nublar. Guests began the queue by walking under the Jurassic Park sign, before waiting under an open-wall building. A tour guide appeared on television monitors in the building, reviewing boarding and ride safety. Once you are in the ride, a playful hadrosaur knocks your tour boat off course, causing it to enter the Raptor containment area, which was shown to be heavily damaged. The raft then entered the environmental systems building and slowly began to ascend a long lift hill. A voice on the loudspeaker in the building alerted guests that an emergency evacuation was going to be attempted. The raft then climbed a small lift hill that brought it closer to the emergency evacuation drop. But a technician warns guests that a T-Rex is in the building. Ahead of the boat, a waterfall parts, revealing a massive T-Rex that lurches forward, throws its head back, and roars, then lowers its massive jaws to within inches of your boat, just as it hits a nearby vertical 85-foot drop. This was a brief but stunning encounter with one of the most intimidating animatronics ever created. Jurassic Park the Ride was closed in Universal Studios Hollywood to make way for a new Jurassic World ride, but we can still find it at Universal Studios Orlando. Indominus Rex, Jurassic World, the Ride. As we said previously, Jurassic Park the Ride had, and still has at Universal Studios Florida, an amazing and terrifying T-Rex animatronic at the end of the ride. But at Universal Studios Hollywood, this ride was close to be replaced by Jurassic World the Ride. This new ride had new scenes, and of course, new animatronics. The ride opened on July 12, 2019, and since it was open, the ride has been a success. One of the most drastic changes that were made to the ride was the inclusion of a new tank where we can find the Mosasaurus. This new scene does not include animatronics, but it's made with giant screens that adapt to the weather and time of day. This scene is pretty impressive and guarantees that you will get soaked at this ride. Another significant change to the ride was the last part. Previously, when the dinosaurs used to escape, the boat would take us to the pump station, where the T-Rex had escaped. But now, the new scene shows that the Indominus Rex has escaped, and due to its territorial instinct, has gone directly to the predator area, where the T-Rex can be found. This new scene is very intense because it is filled with animatronic dinosaurs, including Blue. In this new ride, before the fall, we not only see the T-Rex like we used to see, but now it is accompanied by the Indominus Rex. And even though it is not a full-body animatronic, it is terrifying. Now, Universal has announced that after a long year, they're reopening their doors on April 16th. And one of the most exciting things announced is that when it reopens, we will get to see the new finale for Jurassic World, which will feature the spectacularly realistic new dinosaur, Indominus Rex. That probably means that we'll get to see a full-bodied Indominus fighting with a T-Rex, and to be honest, we couldn't be more excited. Jurassic World, the exhibition. Admit it, the Jurassic Park movies made us all wish that we could have been alive to see the dinosaurs, even if only for a moment. Well, folks, the Jurassic World exhibition is the closest you will ever come to seeing these majestic creatures. This immersive exhibition has enormous animatronic dinosaurs that come to life before your eyes. Sounds exciting, right? These animatronics were created by the Australian-based Creature Technology Co. in collaboration with Jack Horner, a renowned paleontologist who also served as an advisor in the Jurassic World movies. Not only that, these dinosaurs are made to look as realistic as possible. They are said to be the closest simulation of dinosaurs ever created, entirely based on the real-world science of dinosaur DNA. So not only do you get to learn about these amazing prehistoric creatures, but you also get a truly immersive and realistic experience, with a pinch of fear thrown in. The exhibition first debuted in Melbourne, Australia. Since then, it has been enjoyed by more than 1 million people across various countries. As soon as you enter, you are greeted by the iconic Jurassic World gate. From there, you get to take a virtually guided tour where you encounter all the various dinosaurs. When we say these animatronics are lifelike, we mean that they are lifelike. The Brachiosaurus animatronic is 7 meters tall, and the Pachyrhinosaurus is a whopping 9 meters. The best part? You get to come face to face with the formidable Indominus Rex. Hear its ferocious roars. You also get to interact with the baby dinosaurs. They also have a live entertainment experience, filled with life-size dinosaurs and people who have to face obstacles that they overcome through action-packed fight sequences. Truly an awe-inspiring and fun-filled event for the whole family. There are still many more Jurassic Park animatronics to cover, so leave a comment below if you want to see part 2 of this video. And be sure to subscribe so you don't miss it when it comes out.